Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Nine of Cups. Very beautiful energy. Pursuit of happiness, following your bliss, living a full and complete life, striving always to be better, to do better, to feel better, right? This is a very positive card. I like this card. It's got to be my favorite energy of the deck, if not my favorite image, right? My favorite artwork. Anyway, let's put it into some context. We've got some air energy. We've got the Sun card, an Ace of Swords. Ooh, the Lust or Strength card, and the Sun card. That's very interesting. And the Wheel of Fortune. My goodness, look at that. That's pretty special. Seven of Pentacles, the Star. There we go. There is your power card. And it's interesting that this is in the position of your environment, right? It's your relationship with the environment. Okay, very interesting. And the higher, we're getting all the major arcana cards today. Okay, and another court card, the Queen of Cups here at the end. This is quite good, I must say. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we'll just select something from right here. Oh, I flipped that one over. I wasn't supposed to do that. Well, that's the King of Pentacles. Interesting. I've never done that before. I'm just so used to flipping the cards over. Okay, let's do a true mystery card here. I won't flip that over. We'll put Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, right there on top to make sure I don't look at it. Goodness. And that card's going to tie everything together. Okay, it's going to give us the confirmation that we need. If you have an idea of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments. Okay. Let's see if we can use our intuition to figure that card out, right, before I flip it over. The card that I did flip over is the King of Pentacles. So this is kind of an urgent message that just obviously just broke through here to say, keep doing what you're doing. Stay the course. Stay fixed in your manifestation. Stay fixed in the behavior. Whatever you're working on, whatever you're doing right now in your life is working, okay? Even if there is, by some odd way, a feeling that it's not working, because see here, look, we've got that Seven of Pentacles. Now we're starting in the completely wrong place today, right? Or is it the right place? Starting with the general energy on the path of the Serpent, Seven of Pentacles, you may have a feeling, a perception that what you're doing is not amounting to anything. Keep doing it. It is working. Okay, I don't know if that is a specific message for just a particular few of you out there, or if this is part of the general reading. We'll have to see how this plays into it. Okay, but if you have the feeling that what you're doing isn't amounting to anything, forget it. Keep working. Keep doing what you're doing. King of Pentacles says it is working, and you have to keep at it. Okay. Now let's take a look at the rest of the stuff. We've got a lot of major, okay. Fire energy. We don't really have any minor arcana fire energy, but we have the Lust or Strength card, which is fiery. We have the Sun card, which obviously is a huge ball of fire in our lives and in ourselves, in our souls. We have some water. We definitely have water here, and we have water here. Right, Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups. We have air in terms of the Ace of Swords. And I even like to think that this Wheel of Fortune is a little bit of air. We have, obviously, the Aquarius card, the Star card, which is some air here. The Earth cards that we have, well, we have that King of Pentacles, which is, without the King of Pentacles, I would have said, oh, wow, gee, there's no Earth energy here, except for this Seven of Pentacles, which we don't like. But we've got the King of Pentacles, so instead of this staying in this perception that what we're doing just isn't having any physical results right now, we've got the King of Pentacles to say, yeah, that may be what we're feeling. We may be not really noticing the progress, but we're making progress. It might just be a subtle progress. It might be an internal progress. It might be some karma that we're building up. It might be, you know, something that has yet to really reveal its true form, okay? So the King of Pentacles is saying, keep doing what you're doing. It's kind of a quick correction on this Seven of Pentacles. And we have this Taurus energy with the Hierophant here. So that's also very, very good. Now, with the Nine, we started with the Nine of Cups and the Princess of Swords. I'm going to do better about naming the cards, okay? We have the Nine of Cups and the Princess of Swords. I feel like you're becoming a lot better at expressing your intentions, expressing your purpose, but expressing your needs, your desires, right? Your expectations. There's this idea here that I'm getting of like you're becoming more eloquent in how you express yourself, right? The words that you use, the way that you're communicating your needs and your desires, your intentions, your purpose, right? Your mission. Because I see the Nine of Cups is kind of a feeling of being in our destiny, being in our divine mission, doing our destined activities, our destined work, behavior, whatever it is. This doesn't have to be career. When I say work, I don't just mean your job, okay? We all work on something, somewhere, in some part of our lives, whether it's internal, external, whether it's personal and private, whether it's public and professional, right? Whether it's our family, our business, our creativity, our spiritual work, we're all working, right, towards something. And I think you have this wonderful clarity about what it is that you're working toward, and why, and how, and who, and all this stuff. And I feel like you're getting better at expressing that, being able to communicate that to your loved ones, to yourself too. You know, they say that real understanding comes with the ability to teach what you know, right? They say you don't really understand something unless you can explain it to like a 5-year-old, right? And I'm learning that every day of my life. I have a 3-year-old, my wife and I do, and she is curious beyond measure. And I find sometimes I'm struggling to figure out how to explain things to a 3-year-old. So it's challenging me to consolidate my own knowledge into easier to digest, morsels. But I feel like that's what you're doing. You're consolidating your knowledge and understanding into true wisdom. And that comes, I think, with your ability to communicate, even if it's just with yourself, even if it's just explaining something to yourself, or writing it down or something, or writing a lot of papers and essays and stuff. I used to write a lot of articles and essays and stuff. And that was my way of distilling everything that I was absorbing in my esoteric work and my life work, to see what kind of a grasp I really had on it. And I think that's kind of what you're doing here. I feel like you're getting a lot better at expressing not only your understanding of your purpose, your destiny, your work itself, but of your needs. And I think you're learning more about what it is that you need in your life, what your divine mission is, and how it is, a source of happiness, a source of satisfaction, a source of pleasure, even when things don't really seem to be advancing that quickly, right? Which I kind of think is where we're at now with that Seven of Pentacles. So let's let's go to this, the Ace of Swords here. I feel like the Ace of Swords is that distillation of your knowledge and your experience and your wisdom. This is from the past. This position here is kind of, in the past here. So I feel like this is your simplification of your purpose, your destiny, your divine mission, right? I've been doing a lot of Aquarius readings lately because I feel there's something very special happening with Aquarius. I feel like there's a big metamorphosis for Aquarius right now, and I think a lot of you are coming to a deeper understanding and acceptance of your divine mission, okay? And this is a card that kind of consolidates that down to one word or phrase. This is kind of your mission statement, right? If we want to use that kind of mundane language. This is what that feels like to me, okay? And it is in the recent past here. And I wonder if, I'm kind of getting the feeling with all of the air energy, really, even with your Aquarius star card here, I'm getting the feeling that the work that you're doing, or the purpose, the destiny, the meaning of life that you're finding, it feels like it's requiring you to learn almost a new language, right? And it could be just a new vernacular, a new terminology in whatever field or whatever area of life you're focusing on. And that's part of the Princess of Swords too, right? Learning how to express ourselves, learning how to communicate effectively, being more precise with the words that we choose, right? Words are power. And I think that it's a new language, maybe literally a new language. But I think it's also being very careful with how you describe the work that you do. You know what I mean? The words that you're choosing to use or to apply to your life and to your path. Okay. Now, let's get out of the air energy here for a moment. Well, actually, let's continue the air over here to this Wheel of Fortune, because I feel this is kind of sort of like the air energy anyway. It's very expansive. This is not an uncontrolled expansion. It's not just things dissipating into the air. This is a growth from within that is pushing the boundaries. Okay? It's kind of like the Fool in the sense that it is just, it's getting bigger and bigger. It's encompassing more and more and more. But the Fool expands by being pulled from without in every direction, right? The Wheel of Fortune expands and grows from the impulse within. Okay, so it is a growth in a definite direction. You know, it's willed, it's intentional. So I think that your sphere of influence, let's say, is expanding. This is in the future position. I think that your circle of friends is expanding. I think that you are not only your circle of friends, but I feel like just your circle of experience. So not just friends, but also foes. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not just expanding into those areas of life, those connections, those experiences that you favor, that you're attracted to. You're taking in all experiences as kind of being equal experiences, right? You're learning just as much from the challenges as you are from the more pleasurable experiences and relationships, right? So this is a great growth just in terms of your consciousness, right? And in that sense, it has a little bit of this Fool energy. I wouldn't be surprised if the mystery card is the Fool, because we're kind of being led by the environment, by the circumstances around us. But it's not as haphazard as the Fool is, right? There is an intention behind it. There is a will behind it. Even if we are being drawn to certain experiences, we're trying not to preclude any experiences just because in our habits of personality, I don't like those experiences, you know. It's a little bit of the immersion therapy, right? Where something that you might have a fear of, well, we're going to try to approach it in a way that we can get more comfortable with it, right? I think there's a little bit of that going on with you. Now, we do see you confronting a lot of fears as well with the lust or strength card here. Okay. And to me, this card, this is part of our, this is above everything. This is part of our aspiration. And I really feel like you're getting a hold of those parts of yourself that that might be a little bit fear-oriented, right? That might have a certain reaction to things because there is, I don't know if fear is the right word, but there's an aversion to things, right? I stay away from things because I know I'm not comfortable there. I think we're trying to get a grasp of that, right? We're trying to understand why it is that I'm uncomfortable in certain situations or with certain people. We're trying to face that fear, right? It reminds me of, I must face my fear. Fear is the mind killer from Dune. It's that kind of a thing where if there is not a particular situation, but in general, a certain type of situation, maybe it is in larger crowds that you don't feel so comfortable. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's in smaller groups of strangers, right, or acquaintances that you feel less comfortable, something like that. But I feel like we're getting a handle on those things that make us uncomfortable, and we're turning those situations into advantages. We're turning those fears, I guess we could call them, into strengths. Right? This card's all about strength. It's all about kind of wrestling with those parts of ourselves that are just so kind of almost instinctual, right? But not instinctual in a natural way. Instincts that we've learned over time from past traumas and pains and habits and behaviors that now have become instinctual. I have the instinct to run when I see a large crowd of people, at the amusement park or wherever. That's not really, maybe some of it is a natural instinct, but for me, I think it's a learned instinct, right? It's an acquired instinct. And so we're wrestling with that. And I think you're getting control over those parts of yourself that wish to turn away from certain types of challenges. Okay? And it's all part of this idea of you becoming the sun, of you becoming whole, of you integrating all these aspects of yourself. And I think it is kind of learning a new language, learning how to speak with ourselves. And that's part of this, the clarity of this speech and communication and language, is being able to talk to ourselves, to what we say to ourselves is very important. Our unconscious is listening. Right? And we can sort of say that this beast down here is that unconscious. And it's going to take what we say literally. And if we say it enough times, it's going to become an acquired kind of instinct. So I think we're being very careful of how we are speaking with ourselves. We're trying to be more articulate with ourselves, And with the sun, I feel like this is us understanding that there is no part of ourselves that we need to hide. Right? Nothing can hide. When the sun is high in the sky, there are no shadows. Right? It is nothing is hidden. All will be revealed to you. And this is the idea that we have to look at those parts of ourselves that are uncomfortable, that are afraid, that are at least apprehensive about things. It doesn't mean that we have to always be doing what frightens us. But we have to look at those parts of ourselves and just try to acknowledge, I feel that way. Why might I feel that way? Where does it come from? Right? We feel how we feel, and let's kind of get to the other side of it and see, hey, that wasn't so bad, or that was terrible. Where does that come from? Why do I feel that way? With all the major arcana energy that we have here, I do feel that Aquarius is in the middle of a really big shift in consciousness, in life path, life purpose. I think that there might even be, for some of you, a shift in this. This air energy could really be signifying that you are learning a new language. You are reformulating your mission statement, because what you thought was your mission, now you're realizing you're being called to a different path in life. Okay? And we talked about the 7. We're going to move to the path of the serpent now. And as I do this, I'd like to ask that you hit the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Okay? I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Back to business. We talked about the 7 of Pentacles. It may seem like what you're doing now is not really resulting in physical, tangible stuff. Okay? The King of Pentacles is here to remind you, look, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're doing this more introspective work, if you're learning to formulate your will and your mission statement and to be able to express that and communicate that and live that in the world of experience, like with this Wheel of Fortune card, keep doing what you're doing. Now, don't forget, the Wheel of Fortune card is also generally a card of really good luck, right? Whatever you're doing, it is going to work, it is going to pay off, it is going to be rewarding, okay? And I think it's very much part of us doing what's uncomfortable. A lot of the time, I feel we miss out on opportunities because there's an apprehension there. A lot of the times we don't want to admit it. We will make an excuse perhaps, and that's a little bit of this air energy with the princess here. When there's an opportunity before us, we might look for a reason why I have to say no. The real reason is that we're kind of uncomfortable. We're kind of afraid. We're apprehensive. We're insecure. But we'll find a reason to say no. Oh, I can't. I just don't have the time today. Or, you know, I have other obligations, or, you know, whatever it might be. Right? There's some reason kind of outside of our control that is, it's unfortunate, but I have to pass on that opportunity. When the real reason, when we get down, when we can illuminate those parts of ourselves, the real reason is that we're afraid. Okay? The King of Pentacles says, keep working at what you're doing. You're doing all the right things. Now, we've got the Star card in the environment. And this is you. This is you, I think, always trying to receive the download, always trying to receive the spiritual energy to get closer and closer to your soul, to your true self, to this sun. Because what is the sun but a star, your star, very up close and personal, right? And I think that this is representative of your kind of divine mission. And this is an idea that our divine mission takes us out there somewhere. Right? Maybe this is an idea that your soul has a destiny that is out there in the world, in the cosmos, right? Not so much the internal work, but you're meant for something that is going to affect the rest of us, right? And I think I said this on my reading yesterday for you, because I feel like there is this huge energy shift in the Aquarius sign that is trying to bring to awareness the idea that, yes, you must prepare yourself internally because you have a very big job to do outside of yourself, right? But we need to have the balance. And so when I see that you are the sun, but we're going out into the distant cosmos, right, to other worlds, this is the idea that you are bringing your light to others, right, which are a reflection of you. This is you in the position of the environment. You are out there as well as in here. This is the idea that we are all the same, that we are all a reflection of the one spirit, the one light, right? So it's interesting because usually we'll see the Star card show up. You're after your destiny, right? But it's still kind of a distant goal. It's still kind of out there. It's kind of vague and hazy, right? But I figured out where my star is. Now I'm going to work towards getting it. Well, we see that you already have your star, your purpose, your destiny. And now it's the idea of taking that out there somewhere where it still might be a little hazy, right? So I feel like you're bringing your gifts to others, you know. And maybe that is part of the mission for you, is bringing what you do, your work, bringing it to others, even if it's just your light, right? Bringing that to others, showing people perhaps the way to find their star, to find their destiny. Maybe you're a life coach, a spiritual counselor of some kind. Right? I don't know what you're doing, but it's meaningful and it's important. Right? We see the Hierophant here. And the Hierophant is in the position of what we do not want. Why is that? Well, I think that the Hierophant is here in the position of what we do not want because we do not want to be fixed or stuck in what we think we know. This is a very rigid academia. This is a set of fixed beliefs. This is an institution. When you are kind of the anti-institution, right? You are teaching people to create their own institutions, right? Their own order, their own wisdom and knowledge. So there's a contrast between these two. I think you're fundamentally opposed to a textbook kind of set of instructions, you know. And yes, we have this card for a reason. There's a reason why this is here, because we do need the textbook. We do need the institution, but you're trying to bring people freedom from the limited and fixed and rigid beliefs of this Hierophant. And I think that's the true essence of a Hierophant, right? In the truest sense. Not being the gatekeeper of knowledge and wisdom, but trying to initiate people to their own solar nature so that they can formulate their own understanding, just as you are, that we've talked about this, rather than waiting for an institution or an individual or whatever, or a book, you know, to give them the ideas that they need to have. You're teaching people how to find their own truth, their own ideas, right? Religious practices, ceremonies, rituals, mantras, any kind of habit or routine that we're in is of no benefit to us unless it is the starting point for us discovering our own unique voice, light, our own unique light or voice. What I mean is that you follow the rituals and the ceremonies that you read out of a book, right? And those are fine. Those are good. There's a reason why those are in there. They're templates. But the real wisdom, the real teaching is really begun when you start to personalize that. When you realize that we are all unique. So if you do a certain prayer or ritual, you're adding your own voice, your own flavor, your own style to it. You're finding your own light, your own wisdom, your own voice, your own words, your own language, right? The rituals and ceremonies are not written down for us to just mimic and repeat, right? To learn the fundamentals, sure, but then we have to transcend. That's why the apprentice then becomes the master, transcends the master. Yeah. We transcend the need for the very rigid, formulaic life. And we live a little bit more free. And I feel like that's what you are bringing to people in some way, right? The next card, we've got the Queen of Cups. Now, I don't want to detract from the water energy because this Nine of Cups is really, really nice. Whatever you're doing, maybe it doesn't have this kind of lofty, spiritual, philosophic aspect to it. Maybe you're just trying to live a life where, yeah, you can get as much value from your efforts, as much pleasure and satisfaction, as much happiness. It's true happiness. This isn't just surface level desires. My lights are flickering. Oh, that's weird. They don't usually do that. It's not just the surface level desires, right? It is the deeper satisfaction. The Nine of Cups is not just getting your physical needs met, right? Eating when you're hungry. That light must be going out. The Nine of Cups is physical satisfaction, sure, but it's also mental, emotional, spiritual, creative. So the work that you're doing is satisfying you on such a deeper level, even through all the ups and downs, the fear and all of the challenges. Fundamentally, as a bedrock here, you are still living the life that is bringing you the most satisfaction. Now, the Queen of Cups here at the end is showing us that we have to always be refining what it is that we think we want. We just talked about kind of transcending this rigid structure of the Hierophant. Well, that's something very important for you to take into account on a personal level too, meaning that you can't have this fixed and rigid idea of what your life is or what you want or what happiness is to you. You have to be able to continually do the inner work and find deeper and deeper meaning in your life to be able to change what it is you're after, right? We have to be able to improvise and revise as we go, right? This Ace of Swords is going to change. This is like a pen. You're gonna be writing your story as you go. It's not a rigid structure that's already written for you, and now you've just got to try to follow along, right? No, we're searching ourselves. We're learning. There's no bottom to this Queen of Cups. It's an infinite depth. The more you do the work, the more you search yourself, the more you discover what it is that you truly want out of life. And you can go as deep as you want. And that will change and grow and evolve over time. That's very important. Let's look at the mystery card now before all of my lights give way. Thank you, Kevin, a.k.a. What is his a.k.a.? Mr. Bates. That's right. Okay, if you have an idea of what this card is, put your answer in the comments section. We'll go ahead and reveal this. I guess I'm thinking maybe some earth energy. I'm thinking a 3 of Pentacles here, or the Fool card. Let's see. No, King of Wands. King of Wands. Now we've got the air of fire. Yeah, the air of earth, air of fire. See, now we've got that fire to earth aspect, right? Now we have this idea of, yes, stay in what you're doing. Stick to what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing in the physical realm. But now we've got the fire energy as well that says, keep checking in with Source. Keep revising. Keep your will into it. Because if we have all of the behaviors, but they're detached from the impulse, from the will, from the spirit, then all of this revision that we're doing gets lost. Because then we're out here in this fixed, because see, this is fixed earth energy. This is basically that Taurus Hierophant card in practice. So we need the fire energy to continually be revising our behavior. Keep working, keep doing your activities, keep doing what you're doing, but be open, be flexible to revising things as you go. Right? Don't hold so strongly to this belief that even when everything around you is telling you times are changing and you're stuck with what you're doing, it's it's like, I don't know, it's like my grandma who refuses to use the internet, you know. She's always done things this way. I've always had a physical newspaper. She's always gone to the grocery store to buy what she needs. She refuses to, you know, she's always had the big, thick phone book. You know, she likes what she likes, you know, and bless her for it. There would be an increase of convenience if she would use the internet to look up a phone number, if she would order a few things on Amazon so she doesn't have to always leave the house. When, you know, if the weather's bad or if it's too hot or, you know, if she's not feeling well, there are advantages to kind of accepting some of the modern conveniences. But she likes what she likes, right? So anyway, the King of Wands. It's important for us to have the consciousness and the awareness. This light's really tripping me out. To have the consciousness and the awareness to know what sort of adaptations or alterations, right, are necessary for us. And that is, of course, what we're discovering with the water energy and the air energy too, in fact, to see how we might have to revise our plans as we go, to course correct along the way. All right, we're going to leave it at that. This is already getting to be a long reading. We're going to do an extended as well. Click in the corner if you want that. New readings for Aquarius, Mondays and Thursdays. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.